The weaver of the Sky Loom. In the hill village of Ranikhet lived Tara, a weaver whose shawls carried the blush of dawn and the hush of dusk. She dyed her yarn with walnut husks, pomegranate rinds, and madder root, and wove at a patient pace, humming folk tunes her grandmother had taught her. Buyers came from distant towns for her work, not because it was cheap, but because it felt alive. One spring, a Polish trader named Dev arrived with promises of scale. "Your patterns could travel the world," he said, laying out a contract. "I'll bring you 20 looms, 20 workers, and a steady river of orders. Just lower the thread count, simplify the borders, and use chemical dyes to match catalog swatches. People won't notice." Tara hesitated. The village needed money. Roofs leaked, the school lacked books, and the old road to the market crumbled every monsoon. She signed, telling herself she would keep a secret corner for her original weaves. The looms arrived, and the workshop filled with chatter and speed. Rolls of fabric piled up like clouds. Money flowed, for a while. Yet at night, Tara's fingers ached with a hollow hurt. The new shawls were bright but thin, easy to snag. Their patterns, once like stories, now repeated like slogans. Customers smiled at the price and shrugged at the feel. When autumn's first chill came, a festival lit the village with lamps. A sudden squall rolled in, snapping flags and darkening the sky. People clutched their new shawls, only to find them useless against the wind. Children shivered, elders hurried home. In the swirl of rain, Tara saw an old woman wrapped in one of Tara's early pieces, a deep indigo with tiny constellations stitched along the hem. The old woman lifted a corner to cover a child beside her, and both settled into warmth, breathing the calm the cloth held. Tara stood still. The festival drums faded, the trader's contract grew weightless in her mind. The next morning she wheeled the chemical dye drums out into the yard and sold them for scrap. She called her workers together. "If we build with haste," she said, "we sell wind. If we build with care, we sell weather itself." A few left, shaking their heads at lost profits. Most stayed, curious and stubborn. They learned to mordant yarns with alum and myrobalan, to twist tighter plies, to read the loom not by counting threads but by listening to the gentle thrum of weft meeting warp. Orders slowed, then steadied, then rose again, but from buyers who asked for her name, not her price. Tara kept a ledger for the village road, a box for school books, and a jar for anyone's sick day tea. Dev returned that winter, softer around the eyes. "You turned me down without saying a word," he confessed. "But I've heard your waiting list is months long." Tara smiled. "I didn't turn you down. I turned us back, toward the reason we weave at all." On the first snow evening, Tara finished a shawl she called the Sky Loom. The border held small stars like patient stitches. She draped it over her shoulders, stepped into the crisp night, and felt not just warm but right, woven to her place, her people, and her craft. Moral: don't trade your purpose for speed. Quality that carries meaning outlasts quantity that only mimics it.